Hello, viewers. Thank you for joining in or listening in today. My name is Arun, and you have started watching the AI with Arun Show. So it's a pleasure today to welcome Siddharth on our show. So, Siddharth, thank you for joining in.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Arun. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. All right. So, Siddharth is a true innovator in the world of fintech. He is the CEO of a company called Finverv. If you haven't heard the name of Finverv, then get ready to get amazed. And we'll talk to Siddharth about why he named this company Finverv. Now, FinVerv is revolutionizing the way businesses offer credit to their customers. Imagine being able to buy that new couch or upgrade your business equipment and get financing right then and there without leaving the website or the app that you're already using. That is the power of embedded finance, and FinVerv is leading the charge with Siddharth as the CEO. Siddharth is not just a simple CEO. He is a visionary with a proven track record in software infrastructure. He's got that rare talent for spotting market trends and turning them into successful products. With his guidance, FinVerb is shaking up the financial industry one seamless integration at a time. Now, FinVerb offers effortless credit migrations, integrations. It empowers institutions, and it's a very simple API-driven infrastructure. So get ready to get into the world of embedded finance and discover how FinVerb is making it easier than ever for businesses to offer credit and for customers to access it. Let's hear from the man himself about his vision for the future of FinVerb and the exciting possibilities that it holds. So, Siddharth, thank you again for joining our show.
Thanks, Arun. Thanks for the introduction. I couldn't have explained Finverb better than that. It's so nice to be here, and looking forward to the exciting session.
Wonderful. So, Siddharth, talk to our viewers about your initial journey and your initial motivations. What drove you to founding a fintech company?
So, to be very honest, I didn't write somewhere that I'll start a fintech company someday. But I think the general, the way the thing up on its own was about the way I was brought up. My father himself is an entrepreneur. He runs his own business. He's a doctor by profession. And the way in general I was brought up, I was always motive or kind of nudged to not think about monthly salaries or your company CTCs or your designation, and think beyond that, think beyond that what you can create, what is your broader vision, what is the big picture that you could kind of create for yourself or for the society and the community. And kind of always not think about a role, a job description, or a designation, or a package, or a CTC, the general trend that people would have. So I was always encouraged to not think in that direction and think something big, or something about creating something. So that was the biggest contributor. And then it led to kind of me taking multiple decisions through my career, through my experiences, which were always guided by that broader principle of kind of creating something, which led to me eventually creating starting Finverv, or fintech company, to solve for the lending infrastructure in the Indian ecosystem.
That's wonderful. I like how you said about your father inspiring you to think beyond, because I see a lot of children at that age thinking about this is what I want to become, but rather trying to think about how to make a business impact rather than thinking of what to become. That's
Right.
it's a very nice way of great parenting. One of the parenting tricks from your end.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
It
Siddharth, if
always
you
does it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's parenting is always the biggest contributor for the person who you become. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Being a parent myself, I can attest to that.
Great.
So Siddharth, talk to our viewers about who your mentors were. Your father certainly looks like he was one of the very early mentors that you had. But talk to our viewers about some of the other mentors that you had, maybe growing up or in school, college or undergrad years.
Sure. So, in terms of mentors, obviously in my college years, I was not very fairly aware of the idea of having a mentor. So you generally look up to your teachers in terms of more knowledge and education. So the context of exploring entrepreneurship was not that of a theme or talking points with the professors. But obviously, during my internships, so again, because of this idea of starting someday or doing something, all my internships or all my outgoing corporate exposures were targeted towards early stage companies or startups, etc. There, I got the opportunity to work with founders, senior executives who were previous founders, etc. So those experiences were the second biggest contributor for me to kind of really work up close with a founder. What is their day to day like? How do they operate? And see the action really close from the founder's office. Just as an intern, but that was the second biggest contributor for me to kind of shape my steps towards journey.
Wonderful. And so, what kind of advice or suggestions would you have to younger people who are listening to the show right now?
uh, for to pursue entrepreneurship.
Yeah, either to pursue entrepreneurship or to do something which is meaningful and impactful in their life. What
I
advice would
think
you have?
I think first advice would be to be very absolutely sure that this is what you want to do. If you want to pursue this path, it is not a career choice; it's a lifestyle choice. It will impact everyone around you. It will impact you, your health, your mental health. And it is very important to be very absolutely sure that there is no other way you would want to live your life. So that's the absolute surety first you should have in your mind, and obviously take guidance, speak to founders, speak to other folks who have done that and then moved on. That is a great source of inputs. And then if you really decide to do it, just don't wait for XYZ thing to happen, then I'll start, or XYZ thing to happen, then I'll start, etc. etc. Just take a plunge and just do it. Don't wait for you to develop some skill or wait for some idea to come to you, etc. Just start whatever comes to your mind. Just start. FinTech, Finverv is not my first company. I did bunch of other stuff before Finverv, a couple of startups, which some of them I'm proud of, some of them I'm not proud of. But you have to take that plunge and just do it once you're absolutely convinced that I want to do it. And think of it as all of it will add a lot of value in terms, not in terms of money, in terms of knowledge and experience, which will kind of prepare you for maybe the one startup or one idea that will really kind of shoot out for you. uh, but a sub suggestion would be stick to your domain, stick to your skill sets. Don't go out doing something that doesn't really fit well with you, because if you commit to something, you are in it for 10 years or 20 years, right? So that is one thing that you should keep in mind.
Yeah, that's great, Siddharth. I liked how you said that having being an entrepreneur is almost like a lifestyle decision, not like a career choice. All right, because
Right.
everybody, you're spot on. Everybody around you, your immediate families, your friends, are
Yeah.
deeply impacted by what you're
Right.
doing. So,
Right.
yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice for somebody listening in. So that let's speak about Finverv. So talk to our
Right.
viewers about why this name Finverv before we jump into what Finverv actually does. Uh,
Hmm.
how did you come across this name, Finverv?
Sure. So obviously, finding a name is a journey which you start once you already have the idea, you have everything, and you're searching for domain names, to be very honest. We had couple of options. Finverv.com was available. Now, why Finverv was one of the options is because uh, it is a kind of a additive. It's an additive word built out of fin, which represents finance, and then this verb, which is a state of enthusiasm or rigor or energy to do something, right? So we wanted to kind of bring these two together to kind of represent the enthusiasm or the rigor with which we wanted to kind of revolutionize the financial ecosystem. And within that, lending, obviously, today, who knows what more in future. So that was the idea behind Finverb. And fortunately, the .com domain was also available. So that made our decision much more easier.
That's a very interesting name. Obviously, you guys are a bunch of energetic company out there, and fintech is what you're doing. So it's a very interesting
There,
name. All right.
yeah.
So, Siddharth, tell our viewers about what problems are you trying to solve with Finverv.
Sure. So I think overall in fintech, the broader theme where the industry or the market is headed is that financial services, and we saw all of that happening, right? Financial services were earlier just available at a branch or a bank's office or a branch office, right? And then these financial services kind of started getting distributed other at all other non-financial ecosystems. So today, a payment gateway is a financial service which is sitting in almost every digital ecosystem that you talk to, or also a retailer or a store owner has a QR code where you can make digital payments, right? So that is where this financial service has branched out of the financial ecosystem and has so deeply embedded that it's almost invisible to our eyes that we are making a financial transaction, we are making a payment or moving money around, right? It has become so seamless, it's almost invisible to our eyes, and we expect the person that or the business that we're dealing with to have some form of digital infrastructure to make the payment. If you do not have, then there's a question that how come you don't have a digital payment? So that is where the other financial services are also now heading, where insurance, lending, etc., all of these will become so ubiquitous that you will have these services embedded in all of your experiences wherever you are transacting. So that is where my personal experience has been in lending and lending infrastructure and lending products. And now with that, there has to be, if lending were to become ubiquitous, which it is headed to become, where you can find lending services embedded in various ecosystems. Today, you find it on Amazon, you find it on No Broker, which is a house rental app or something like that. So for that to happen, there has to be an infrastructure which helps all of these ecosystems who want to offer these financial product or lending services to their customers for some or the other way, whether their customer is a small business or whether their customer is a consumer like you and me. They would need a strong infrastructure which helps them launch these credit solutions, and also helps them work with multiple financial institutes who are actually the originator or the producer of this financial service, which is a loan or a lending product. Um, so that is where Finverv comes in, says that, hey, look, you've built a very good customer-facing infrastructure. We will help you with the backend infrastructure of a lending product, and we will also build these rails, these bridges to multiple financial institutes, and you can help use this lending in a box solution to start offering credit to your customers, loan products to your customers, whether it is BNPL, whether it is just simple, personal loans, business loans, etc., etc. You don't have to worry about the tech infrastructure that you require or build that tech infrastructure. You don't have to worry about the lender partnerships, the partnerships with financial institutes, building those partnerships, integrating with them, making sure you are compliant at all times, making sure that regulations are kept, you're up to date with regulations, making sure you're getting your security audits done, your tech audits done time on time. So all of that kind of gets absorbed within Finverv infrastructure, and you get lending business in a box, which you can just deploy and start lending to your customers. So that's the overall kind of proposition that Finverv comes when to enable this distribution or access of financial services within that. Lending is the one where we focus to kind of enable and kind of power everyone possible to offer lending solution with a use case, with a solution that they want to provide to their customers. That's in a nutshell, or in 2-3 minutes, what we do.
Yeah, no, wonderful. So, Siddharth, let's take two examples. Let's say I am a consumer and I'm trying to
Right.
buy some furniture on an
Right.
e-commerce website, right? Sitting in the
Right.
comfort of my home. So I'm in that website. I have made all the selections, the configurations for these, for the, let's say the furniture that I'm trying to buy. And then the way you explain it on that page itself, I will have some kind of a lending solution that's available to me because it's an expensive
Right.
furniture, right?
Right.
Which is a Finverb solution. So what do I as a
Right.
user do? I click on that link and I'm offered lending solutions from different institutions.
Sure. So the way it works is that the reason we call it embedded is that for you as a user, you are not bothered about what is going in the background. So you will continue your checkout journey, and you will maybe choose to pay in EMIs, or you will choose to pay later. Some of the lending products that are there, where the way it is packaged. So a pay later is something like a credit card, which you can maybe choose to pay at a later date. Or EMI is obviously the equated monthly installment product. So based on the purchase, based on the size of the amount, you'll be offered a product where the website itself will tell you, hey, why don't you kind of make this payment in equated installments, or if you want to pay it later, you can pay it later. You can use our tech infrastructure or our lending product, which is, let's say, xyzfurniturestore.com's credit products. So Finverv in itself is a white labeled infrastructure. So you'll not see Finverv's credit program or a Finverv's BNPL. You will see that website's BNPL, which is powered by Finverv. And the moment you click there, you will go through an onboarding journey, just like a regular loan, right there within the website, and you'll get your product delivered to your house. The credit product will ensure that the website gets its payments on time, and the financial institute will collect from you at a later date, just like it happens in other lending products. At the back of it, Finverv would be running, collecting your information from the website, running basic filtering, understanding your customer profile. There will be a bunch of lenders or financial institutes who will be integrated in this infrastructure, who would, basis your profile, would underwrite, approve your credit profile, and say that, hey, I can give 10,000 rupees or whatever, 50,000 rupees to Arun for this purchase, and please let him go and purchase this whatever piece of furniture that you're buying. And all of this would be happening in background. Your experience will be seamless within that website. You will end up getting the furniture delivered, and just have to make payments whenever the due dates are coming in. So all the infrastructure of data crunching, data processing, data collection, figuring out based on the profile, what are the best offers that you can get, speaking to multiple lenders over APIs in the backend, figuring out the right offer, etc. All of that is something that Finverv kind of manages for the this furniture platform that you're buying from, and it is also managing this relationship and this bridge and these pipes with the multiple financial institutes who that they want to lend to. So yeah, Arun might fit in lender ABC's profile, and Siddharth might fit in lender XYZ's profile. So all of that filtering, and processing of data, figuring out the right match, etc., etc. All of that is happening in the background, and all that is kind of being managed by Finverv and its API integrations and infrastructures set up with these multiple lenders at the backend. So that's essentially the backstory of it. But for you, it's just simple clicks. You get your furniture delivered. The payment goes to the merchant website, and you make a payment at a later date, whenever is your due date. So that's the experience that gets created, and that's what happens in the background for this experience to be kind of delivered to the customer seamlessly.
Yeah, wow. So I can imagine, it's a very complicated process that you're doing everything in the background. For me as a
Yeah.
consumer, it's very seamless. I don't see anything what Finverv is doing. I just make my selection of, let's say, an equal monthly payments, or pay later, whatever the choice might be, and I'm done. Right. So
Yeah.
that is one use case from a consumer standpoint. If I'm an
Yeah.
e-commerce company, Siddharth, then how do I contact Finverv, and what kind of technology integration or process redesign would do you guys do?
Sure. So reaching out to us is fairly simple. Obviously, reach out to anyone of us over LinkedIn, or just drop in a mail over our website. And once we are in touch, we'll try to understand what is your customer profile, what are you kind of selling, what type of customers are you selling to? Is it small businesses? Who is exactly? What is the geographical? Even being an e-commerce websites, you would understand that these e-commerce websites have dominance in terms of geography as well. In some local geographies, one e-commerce website will have more orders. In some other, there'll be different e-commerce website. So what is the geographic spread of the orders or the customer base that you're sitting on, etc.? So you'll understand the overall customer persona and the profiling of your customers, and basis that we would offer the right set of infrastructure. So since we are a white labeled configurable infrastructure, we offer the right product or the infra that you would best fit for the customers that you're trying to serve, with the right set of lenders. So it's not an open marketplace on the other side, right? There are 27, 30 lenders that we work with. Basis the profile of the customer, the objective that you want to deliver, and all of that, we figure out, okay, these are the three best suited lenders, right risk match lenders who would have great partnerships with you. You already have the infrastructure set up. There already rails are already in place. We can start a lending program in 2 weeks once we complete the documentation and setting up the infrastructure, getting your APIs and your systems integrated with our systems, and you can go live in 2 weeks. What we also do is that the website or the platform is not restricted to work with the lenders that we have brought into the table ecosystem. They can bring any lender partner, any financial institute that they're already working with or have the ambition to work with in the future to our infrastructure. We will integrate. We'll continue to act as the gateway for them to work with multiple financial institutes. So irrespective whether the lender is already part of our network or whether they have a financial institute where they are already partnered and they can bring their own partnership to the infrastructure. So that's also a open opportunity that they have to continue building and scaling their own lender partners as well. So not restricting them to in any way to build their lending business. So that's how we kind of curate a onboarding journey for the platform. And yeah, it takes about 2 weeks for them to integrate our systems and go live and start offering loans to their customers.
Well, nice. So I didn't realize that apart from the established set of lenders that you have, you also let the partners or your customers bring their own lenders if they wanted to. So
Yeah.
that's
So
that.
the underlying problem, Arun, is that the demand platform obviously works with, so let's say Ola. Now, Ola works with various type of customer profiles, right? There'll be so many customer segments within Ola's ecosystem that just one lender or two lender or three lenders cannot service everyone. They need seven, eight lenders, whatever number of lenders that they can partner with to service everyone and provide the Ola Pay Later product or Cab Ride Pay Later products to everyone. So that is where I cannot, they will end up working with multiple lenders. I cannot promise the entire universe of lender on my network yet. And the core problem that I'm trying to solve for Ola is that you don't need to work with or integrate with individual lenders again and again, and maintain that infrastructure, maintain the compliance, maintain the change management, etc. So that is where I know that Ola would also want to have lender partnerships on their own, where they believe they have figured out synergies apart from what we are doing from them. So that is where we offer them the key problem for them is to not work with so many lenders and have this single gateway from a tech standpoint, have a single gateway where all their integrations are plugged, and then this gateway kind of manages multiple financial institutes. That's the core problem for the demand platform, to unify all of this. And that is where we have to, if we really want to solve it, we have to keep this open for them. You can bring your own lenders, and we will continue to act as the gateway for your own lender partners as well. So that's the core problem. In order to solve the core problem, which is a unification of all their lender partners on a single infra, we have to keep this service available to them. Otherwise, it just doesn't really solve the problem that we're trying to solve for.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Makes sense. That makes sense. Otherwise, you're sort of restricting the your customers, right? Yeah,
Right.
not the end consumer.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's great, Siddharth. That gives our viewers certainly great in-depth idea of what is it that you're trying to solve, and the kind of ease of business that you're making it both for the consumers as well as for the lenders and the e-commerce company in this example, right? So Siddharth, let's talk a little bit about the future now, right?
Sure.
So in the future, where do you see? You guys are already making great headwinds in the market, right? But where do you see the company in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
See, obviously, I think first of all, whenever someone asks me in terms of what's the big picture, and I truly believe, if we are able to do what we say we want to do and we are trying to do, If you're really able to do that in itself is a very big achievement. First of all, building this infrastructure with network of lenders on one side and network of demand platforms on the other side, building this tech plus network approach, and kind of making sure that the right demand is meeting the right supply, and everyone is able to seamlessly work with each other. Then that itself is I believe, an ambitious target that we have kind of chosen for ourselves. But yeah, now today today we focus a lot on building this infrastructure. What is very soon on our roadmap is making this infrastructure intelligent, in terms of any helping with the right distribution, helping with the right risk management, helping with the right product orchestration, which type of customer segments want which type of customer product within an ecosystem. There could be customer segments where one product fits some specific customer segments. There's another credit product that fits someone else's needs, etc. So product orchestration, distribution, demand, prediction, risk management in terms of yield predictions, loss predictions, etc., etc. So a lot of intelligence need is something that we'll continue adding to the infrastructure to help the demand side distribute better, and the supply side of our network, which is the lenders, risk manage the risk better, help them with their objectives of loss minimization, profit maximization. So that is a very big theme, to make this infrastructure, once we build this, at a certain scale, once we are satisfied that we've built a very big infrastructure, start adding intelligence in all layers, whether from origination, that is intent capturing, to managing the life cycle of the customer, and having a big picture portfolio level insights available for the platforms, lenders to decide, okay, what portfolio do I want to build, what yield can I expect, how much capital can I deploy in what segments, etc. To that extent. So that is where the largest, biggest theme that we will work on in the next couple of years is something, and we believe that will be a very big, apart from the infrastructure, that will be the next step, a set of value add that will bring to the ecosystem from our.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting from a roadmap perspective. And so that, how are you expecting AI to play a central role in all the things that you spoke about?
Sure. So this is where the intelligence piece will be powered a lot by AI, and a lot of we will obviously do a lot of real time triggers or real time activities in terms of what is happening in the portfolio, what customer needs, what type of products, what's the right demand strategy, etc. But a lot of work on the way the kind of the portfolios are managed, what has happened in the past. If you look at it, we have platforms, demand platforms coming from the same industry, multiple demand platforms who are working in the same industry. So now that's a lot of data coming, credit transaction data being aggregated on the infrastructure from same industries for the same set of homogeneous customers, which is essentially what we intend to use and build and train models and build AI for better, superior credit risk management, which will help the lenders and the demand platforms in terms of managing their or having a visibility in terms of what is going to happen in the next maybe a quarter, how is the portfolio going to move, what yields or returns can they expect, what side of the portfolio should they slow down, what side of the portfolio should they double down, and all of that will be built based on the data that we are processing using the infrastructure today. And so we believe that it'll be, I'm personally very excited about this journey and the experience that we want to create for the lenders to come in and showcase them. This is, if you want to deploy 100 crore, this is what our models tell, that you should deploy 110 crore here, 20 crore here, etc., etc. This is the yield that you'll get based on the intelligence that we have, aggregated, and this is what our models predict for you. So essentially, the intelligence piece or the AI converts this infrastructure into more of an intelligent fund manager for them, who is kind of not just helping them deploy the funds, but also manage the funds in terms of telling them this is what you could do, this is what you could do, this is what you could expect in returns. That's what we are kind of looking forward to in terms of building AI-led decision making for lenders and for the demand platform when it comes to risk management, product orchestration, distribution, so on and so forth. And I'm most excited about it. We very soon start building our first product out of this for this ecosystem based on what we have done so far, and we intend to keep on adding more and more as we build now.
Wow, that's very exciting. Siddharth, I think we should do one more session after maybe one of your roadmaps are out there, just to see how it is going. Because I'm very sure our viewers would love to learn more about how that intelligence is being built. Because what you just articulated, it's very very insightful, very fascinating.
Yeah. Absolutely. I am fascinated myself. So I can't wait to get started on this piece. But obviously, if you've heard JP Morgan also kind of, use their historic data to build their own AI and recommendation engines, etc. So that is something similar. We need to first start aggregating information, what the infrastructure is collecting today, which will become the base for building this recommendations and AI engines in future.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Wonderful. So that brings us to the final segment of our show, and we call it the rapid fire round. Here, I'll ask you a bunch of questions. So, are you ready?
Uh, yeah, I think I hope it's not too rapid. I'll be given like 15-20 seconds to
Yes,
think.
yes, yeah.
Sure,
All right, all right. So, this is our first question. So,
sure,
Chat GPT or Google Gemini? If you could use one for the rest of your life, what would it be?
sure. For the rest of my life, based on what it is today, I would go for Chat GPT because of the openness and the overall usability and the use cases that you can build on top of it and the support and etc. That's just based on today. Obviously, like we were discussing earlier, you never know what happens in the future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So, our next question is: in one sentence, how would you define the future of AI in your field?
Sure. So I think by default in financial services, risk management is the core business that we are in, right? And that is where AI is going to play the biggest role. There's going to be, auxiliary role, like I mentioned, in terms of customer management, right distribution strategies, and there are players like Bajaj Finance, etc., who are very good with, using data in terms of targeting and distributing products. But I think risk management will continue to remain one of the key areas where AI will find its use cases or is already finding use cases. People are already building their own niche, curated in-house captive solutions that they will kind of using for their own profit maximization objectives. But I believe that will be, if at all, that should be the first piece to be kind of enabled by AI. Then other pieces around the ecosystem will also kind of start adopting.
All right. Our next one: what is one AI skill everyone should learn today to be prepared for tomorrow?
I think the basic skill is to kind of how to interact and engage with AI and AI tools that are coming out, which I think in the technical terms you would call prompting, which while something similar what Google used to have in terms of training people to be efficient at Google search and figuring out researching around the Google ecosystem. So prompting I think today seems to be one of the key skills that you should get yourself updated to be prepared for the next skill. Otherwise, you lose the train, and AI will kind of become something that you don't understand and you can't interact with it. So in today's day and age, I think I would recommend prompting to be kind of one of the skills that you should start developing. I know there aren't many courses or any material out there, but one should start. I think that in today's day and age, things evolve very fast, so should not be left behind.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And the last one: if AI could take over one of your daily tasks completely, what would it be?
Okay, so this could be biased. I'm really but for me, so as a founder, you're always looking to to connect with more people, figure out synergies. You never know what could work out, whether you're trying to seek out to an investor, or you're trying to seek out to second degree connect to an investor, or you're trying to seek out to a client or some strategic business opportunity that comes your way. So you're always kind of, building this network out there. Uh, and this network orchestration, or navigating through the network, is a bit of a manual task for me personally. At least I don't have any tools. I have an objective. Okay, this week I need to maybe figure out someone in my network who can help me get this done. So if there could be some form of AI kind of tool, which where I can kind of help him understand, or help the tool understand that this is what I'm expecting out of the objective that I want to achieve. Can you help me with where in my network, or how can I orchestrate a network to kind of help me achieve this? So network orchestration, your personal network orchestration or professional network orchestration, is something, as a founder, because we have to do it a lot. You're continuously, at least half a day you're spending on LinkedIn figuring out, okay, how can I need to get this done? Can this guy help me? Can this guy help me? Can that guy help me? Should I ping this guy to maybe connect me to this guy? So that is a very manual, and you're not really sure whether you will get the outcome or not. So there is a lot of uncertainty whether you will get to what you want. And there is no method or structure around it, right? It's a very subjective thing. So that something like of that tool would be of great help to me personally, to orchestrate this network and figure out where I can get help from what kind of people.
No, that's wonderful. I'm sure anybody who's listening in, and if they are looking for probably some ideas, then this could be a great idea for a new startup.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So that brings us toward the end of the show, Siddharth. I'm really, really thankful to you for taking the time to talk to our viewers. So deeply, deeply appreciate it.
It was lovely talking to you, Arun, and I hope some of it helps future founders and entrepreneurs who are maybe on their journey today, and helps people, discover more about Finverv.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Siddharth.